Today I'm going to be replacing the hard drive on this iBook G3 clamshell. Now, the reason why I'd be replacing this is because unfortunately in this one it's making quite a bit of a tick sound, which is the head going back and forth, trying to read over and over and not succeeding. It will eventually boot into the OS, but not to a usable state. So I'm going to open this up, take out the hard drive, put a new one in, reassemble, and install a new OS within a reasonable time frame. Originally I was going to replace the hard drive on this machine, but that's becoming more and more of a hassle right now, so we're going to just stick to the iBook G3. So after a couple of minutes of trying to let it boot into macOS 9, it's still just on this welcome to macOS. It might go a little bit further, sometimes it gets to the desktop, sometimes it doesn't. But if we get a little closer, you might hear the hard drive click. It'll do a cycle motion of going over it. Yeah, see, it'll just barely start going over, but it'll keep cycling over. So to upgrade the hard drive, you must first turn off the computer. I'm gonna just unplug it because, well, there's no need for corruption if you can't already corrupt a dead disk. But these two little levers here, and also get a screwdriver, twist this to the side so that it clears. You use these little tabs, pull it back, pull the keyboard out of the way, and then here's the hard drive here. It's very nasty down here. I did get this from recycling, but RAM is on this side, hard drive is on this side. Just kind of either disconnect the cable here by unscrewing these screws here, I think. Take your screw, move it over to the side. Pardon me. I'm gonna finagle with this, try to get it unlatched, and come back in just a moment. Should be the screw. There we go. So move that to the side. Then this here, you just lift up on. There's your cable, there's your keyboard, move it to the side. And then here, let me look over this real quick. I've forgotten a few steps. So after you finish opening this part up, I'm going to close this, we're going to turn it over, flip it this way. And then with these, I might be able to do it with my thumb. Twist them. Twist. Let me grab a driver. Flathead driver. Twist. Twist. And now lift up. This is the battery shell. And then the battery itself. There we are. This little tab, pull up on it. There's your battery. I might get this resold because it doesn't work. Who knows? I don't feel like it right now. Just set that to the side. Then there are torque screws here, or my bad, here, here, and here. So with your normal T10 screwdriver, I'm gonna pull these screws out here. Screw, screw, screw. Screw, screw, screw. Screw, screw, screw. And screw, screw, screw. These ones are a little tight, probably from human grease over the years. And there we go. Now these ones, usually you'd take a magnet to them and take them out, but I'm going to just flip it over. Give me one moment. As easy as it comes. Boom, boom, boom. All of them out. Next, let's go to the optical drive. This little hole here. Gonna have to gonna use my tweezers, but gonna have to press on that. Maybe. Let's see. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Now there's a, if I can do this right, there's a screw hidden right there. Have to take that out as well. And that one's just standard Phillips. Next we will be flipping it back over. Optical drive still out. 1, 2, I already removed this one. And these three screws here, I'm going to remove them. So I'm going to pull those out. Next, remove this ribbon cable by popping it up from the sides. If I can. Alright, there we go. Popped it out. And next we will be separating the bezel here. I'm going to grab a screwdriver. Yeah, 1 second. So after considerable struggle, we've gotten this almost fully released. After disconnecting the speaker here as well, just kind of pry just a little bit. Okay, this was not for the faint of heart. So when it was on like this, I had to lift up, grab under here, and like kind of have my hand under like the battery area, kind of force it this way and kind of snap it. It sounds like it destroyed it, but from what I've looked at over this whole thing, seems that it survived. Like no broken plastic, nothing like that. So next, we go even deeper into this thing. Let me set this aside. Next, we're going to remove this nut right here with a 5mm. Pull it out. Come on. There we go. Easy peasy. Set it over in your pile or whatever you have for sorting. And now, next we're going to remove the optical drive here. Going to pull up on this little tab here. So now we're good. So now we got to kind of finagle it. I'm going to struggle quite a bit trying to get this thing out, so I might like... come on. Also sorry about the background noise. Dad decided to take a phone call. Oh well. Optical drive out. Easy as can be, you know. Just the Apple way of multiple steps after one after another. Blah, blah, blah. Now, we're getting ever closer. Very, very close. Now, I'll be honest. I really thought this was going to be a lot like its PowerBook counterpart. But, no. I was deeply wrong. Because this is a pain in the ass. Because you have to take off every single screw here. So I'm going to remove just every single screw I can see in sight. Like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Blah, 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 blah. Then we're going to continue. I literally started getting lost because I really thought the hard drive was just right there, pull it right out. Apparently, yeah. So I'm not happy. Should have just went with Macintosh SE. Anywho, I'm just gonna cut and hope for the best. I feel bad for whoever's gonna watch this. After taking those screws out, you kind of lift up this foil here, and you have access to the modem. I'll put a screwdriver here. Take this card. Oh god, it's pain in the butt. it easy as can be, you know. Now that that is out, we're going to remove the rest of the modem here. I'm going to take these screws out, and hopefully it'll lift right out. Hopefully. Alright, so I got a little carried away, as you can tell, no screen. You kind of have to unroute all of these cables here, and this screw is kind of floating about. Take that, move it next to the other one, but you're gonna have to like unscrew quite a bit. These like three holes here, then these two mounts, unroute all these cables, pull out the screen, and also just a reminder, this is just for the hard drive. I hate this. I'll be honest, I really hate this. And now we continue. So now after finagling and kind of wiggling this modem, pulled the modem out. Now we have to remove every single screw that's on this chassis here. That one, that one, that one, that one, pretty sure that one. Just like as many as I can see, pull them all out. And then I can get to the hard drive. At final last step. I am starting to get frustrated at myself for doing this because I have other stuff to do. But, oh well. Okay. Now that I've unscrewed several screws, I'm going to kind of like try to leave them inside the chassis. That way I can just put this back on, screw it back down. You can kind of do whatever. I doubt anyone who's watching this video is actually going to do this, unless they're from my actual channel. But we're gonna pull up. Hold up, we're gonna pull out a screw, put it aside, pull up, and sweet release of the chassis. And set this on the ground next to my inside. Now, I just want to kind of show off a little bit. If I check this, this is actually the CPU. There is no thermal paste. There is nothing here to actually cool this thing down. But that's because it never really got that hot in the field. At least from what I understand. This is the GPU. I am sorry that my dad is very loud. Sucks. And then this is the hard drive. This is a, let's see. I can't tell what the size of the hard drive is. It should say, oh yeah, 6 gigabyte hard drive. Not very large. It's one of the very early models that Apple made. So now we're going to replace this with either like a modern CF card or kind of whatever hard drive you may have around. I prefer just a modern CF, or CF as in like compact flash, or what you can do is like an M.2 setup, but that's too much money for me, so I'm just going to do a simple CF card because they last long enough. So now that I removed these screws from the holding of the hard drive, it should lift out. Should is the quote. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem so. There we go. It was just a little stuck. So now I'm going to remove this ribbon cable. I'm going to take it out of this chassis here, and I'm going to grab my other hard drive and put it in here. Okay. Hard drive now installed. I just put in my basic SanDisk 64 gigabyte hard drive, slotted it in there because CF is technically IDE as is. And here's the dead G3 drive. I'm probably going to keep it, so maybe I can extract the data one time in the future. Probably never. Still going to keep it though. But now, for the reassembly. I'm not going to video that, so I'm just going to kind of snap my fingers, and it'll be all put back together. Unfortunately, I don't have any RAM to upgrade this while I'm at it, else I totally would, but I don't. Now that I am finished here, though, that's almost the end of the video. I might install OS 9, I might not. Just depends on my time constraints, as this is like Wednesday, and I don't really want to keep working on this. Moment of truth before I install an OS. Just power on. See if my hard work paid off. Chimed, which pretty much means the logic board wasn't damaged, so that's working. The screen is working, and it's gonna load, and then give me a little error that can't find a hard drive. I'll install a new OS, but that is how you install a hard drive. Sorry this video took so long. Yeah, wasn't exactly planning on making it this long for whoever watches this. It just kind of happened. After installing a new OS to the hard drive, and actually having to reassemble this whole machine because apparently the CF card was not fully seated in, so I had to disassemble this whole machine again to get to the hard drive and fix it, slot it in there properly. Now I have installed macOS 9 Lives. It's pretty much just macOS 9 all fully ready to go inside of a CD that I inserted into the working CD drive. Yeah, this drive actually does work. So we have progress, and the flicker of the CRT doesn't help. But I am transferring files to a USB so I can plug it into this iBook, and then we will have games. But that is the end of the video. It was a pretty easy setup, not too much work as much as I complained about it. But yeah, now we have a fully operating iBook clamshell. It does do this weird pop thing when I open it, like if I can video it. Yeah, a little pop. Not supposed to do that, but it is 25-year-old hardware. It's kind of to be expected. And voila.